Hi everybody, Mark Michaels here with Performance Horse Central, joined today with Mr. Phil Rapp and Jeremy Barwick from Western Bloodstock. Welcome guys.
Yeah, thank you.
So we're here to talk about the Western Bloodstock sale preview, which was originally the Rapp Ranch sale preview, an idea that you came up with about 3 years ago, Phil. You came to me about that and I thought it was brilliant and jumped right on board, and this thing has just grown and grown since then. Talk about what was the idea behind it getting started with that? What was your initial thoughts with that?
Well, initially I did it for my personal horses. We had about 20 horses for myself and my clients, and I just wanted to help advertise them, and I saw a good niche in the dates there, and so we had that one day. The next year I didn't have that many horses, and I talked to Jeremy and I said, wouldn't this be a good idea to kind of help promote our 2-year-olds for the 2-year-old sale? And Jeremy said that was a great idea, and it kind of went from there. And you know, we've had 80 to 90 horses, I think, in the 3 years we did it at Rapp Ranch. Yeah. And then, so I talked with Jeremy this past summer, and I said, I'd like for you to take it over, and I think could grow more. And the new venue there at Teton Ridge, I think that's just, it's going to be fantastic. Yeah.
Jeremy, talk about the impact that how this has grown and just enhanced the sale experience for these 2-year-olds and the trainers.
Well, out at Phil's, I mean, we always had a big crowd out there. There's a lot of people always showed up, and then obviously with the webcast, a lot of people watched it. And you would see, because those horses change so much from the time they're videoed, and that's a stressful time for those guys, as it is trying to get a good video. And then it's another month, 6 weeks later, and they can show those horses again in a relaxed atmosphere before we get to the sale, where it gets fast and furious down there. So I've seen where some of those horses, the videos maybe wasn't great. They were good, but not great. But that horse progressed so much that it increased the value hugely on a lot of those colts.
Well, and I think that's been one of the biggest things that I've heard, the feedback that I've heard from the trainers when going out and doing these sale videos. Obviously, someday that video day, those horses know the trainers are a little bit tighter, and just sometimes you just don't get the video that you want to really show that horse's ability. And by having this preview now, obviously it's 2 days before the sale, so you're seeing what this horse is like right now, and it's in a relaxed environment, which I think is huge. I mean, the works that we used to get at Rapp Ranch there, and obviously with the help, and it was just a really good situation to showcase these 2-year-olds. And then also everybody is standing around watching them. They're visiting, they're talking, they're getting feedback, they're talking to the trainers, they're talking to the owners, and so everybody's discussing and, you know, kind of forming their own and doing their research for these horses, which I think is a huge thing.
Yes, and it is so positive. Like you said, you can see those horses, you can see them live, but how many times have you been at a sale and watched a horse and said, hey, that's a good horse, man, what is it? And let me see your catalog. And they sell it. This way you can watch it either at home on your webcast or be there live and say, hey, that's a good horse, and go out and spend the time, talk to the trainer, and get comfortable with that horse. And it's, as Jeremy said, it's more of a relaxed atmosphere that you can really get a good knowledge about the horse. You can see what the horse is, and really make an educated decision to buy that horse.
So with the investment that it takes now, you know, this has become a real business. These horses are going on, they're winning a lot of money, and it's all starting back in the sale ring. Let's talk a little bit about that. How is it with these sale graduates, you know, going on and performing? How has that impacted the sales?
Well, you have to remember those sales for a lot of these guys, that's their futurity. You know, it's what they work for all year long to basically get their income for the year. You know, they're not getting rich training these 2-year-olds all year long, but their paydays at the end of the year when they sell them. So it's encouraged those guys to stay home, train those colts as well as they can, and have them very prepared for the sale, so that those other guys that train them as 3-year-olds and go on and show them, they want to buy those horses. So they go and look for these horses that these guys bring that have gone on in the show pen and won. So it's really made these guys, some of their 2-year-olds, I mean, as soon as the videos come out, they're looking for these guys. So it's given those younger guys a great opportunity to make a great living without having to be gone all the time.
Yeah.
And you know, remember, cutting is an absolute awesome sport, but inside of every sport there's a business, and we have really capitalized on the business of cutting, because as you're saying, you know, you've got the marketability of these horses, but it is a major investment now. When you see these horses bringing, you know, $600,000, $800,000 or several $100,000, $1 million plus, that is a I mean, that's a major investment, and you want that investment to pay off on several different levels, from showing, from reproduction, whatever else. And so this is another way for the people to capitalize on it, and the consigners and the purchasers.
Yeah. And I think it's taken a little bit of the stress off the trainers of people wanting to come out to their ranch, setting up times to come view these horses. Now they can all come to one place. And like you said, some of these horses that maybe these buyers or investors hadn't earmarked, and all of a sudden they see them work, and like we talked about earlier, they catch them, they catch their eye, and next thing you know, they're trying to find out more about it, and all of a sudden that horse is on their hit list.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of those horses, you can see glimpses of them in those videos, but you don't see everything you want to see. But when they can come and work them in that relaxed environment before they're just going so fast down there at the sale, or even trying to work in the practice pen down there at the Coliseum, they can go a lot slower, take their time, they're not rushed, we don't time it. You know, they've got 3 cows, they may only work one if their horse is great, but they may need all 3. But it gives those people a lot more opportunity to do more homework. They can visit with that trainer, other trainers can visit with that trainer. It just gives them another opportunity to market that horse to get the most they can for it.
Yeah. And Phil, we've talked about this when we first started this at Rapp Ranch. Obviously, we were a little bit limited on having places for people to sit and watch, and the weather was a big part. And every year we'd watch that weather and we'd talk about it, and we'd lucked out. I mean, we had good weather for 3 years. Yep. Moving to Teton now, I mean, this totally takes the weather out of it. That place, we can shut it down. Yep. It's got a beautiful viewing area up top. You can have bleachers there. I mean, it's going to be catered to.
Right. Parking is. Yeah. It's just, we got a good idea going. We were able to capitalize on the Teton Ridge, and we're going to be able to expand, and it's going to be good for all parties involved. So it's a first class facility with all the amenities that we need to put on a first class showing of your horse.
Yeah. Another big change for this year is in the past we've only had one arena, so there's been a little bit of downtime in between the horses and bringing cattle in, swapping cattle out. This year, Jeremy, let's talk about how we've changed that and what we've added to it for this year.
Well, this year we've got 2 arenas set up side by side, and the bleachers will be scattered out where people there will be able to see both arenas at all times. So we won't work 2 horses at the same time, but say when horse 1 finishes working, horse 2 starts. We'll have turnback guys and cattle guys in each arena, so no one's changing. All we're going to do is you're going to turn the camera. So there'll be no downtime between horses. 2 finishes, we'll go right to 3. We're going to go as close to catalog order as we can. Obviously, if some people don't show up, some guys got more, we may have to skip around a little bit to give them time to get that horse ready. But I think it'll make the day go real smooth.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, it's going to speed things up dramatically. And allow us to showcase more horses. And I think, this year it's going to be bigger, Phil. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've already talked to quite a few people, and Jeremy, you've already got people signing up. Teton's obviously, a great attraction in itself, and now to be able to go showcase these 2-year-olds in a world-class facility like Teton, I think it's only going to enhance the whole the sale preview experience.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great preview. Phil's got the cattle lined up. We're going to use Corey's arena there. It's
Jason and I,
excellent facility.
So I'm going to do the commentary with Jason Jackson. So we'll discuss the highlights of the horse. We'll discuss the highlight of the trainer, and go over that. We're going to let the horses sell themselves too, obviously. But so it's going to be as it was at Rapp Ranch. It's going to be as close as we can get to the sale preview without an auctioneer. But we just want people to get the most for their money.
Yeah. Well, I think the exposure for these horses is just an amazing part of it. I think the first year we did it, we had something like 3,000, 3,500 views to the PHC webcast, which was live streamed and left on there for people to go back and watch. Last year, we got to looking at the numbers. We had over 8,000 views last year. So that's a lot of people who weren't just there, that were outside watching these horses preview right before the sale. That's a huge deal.
And that's a good thing too, is, they may not get to watch it that day, but it's going to be on there for the next few days before the sale starts. They can go back and watch it on your site and go back and watch all those horses if they want to. So it gives them plenty of time to do more homework and just gives these guys another way to market their colts.
Yeah, the live stream will be live. It will be live streamed. We're going to try to have some TV set up at the Coliseum in the exhibition hall as well during the preview only on Friday. Let's talk about that. The preview is going to be Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. It's going to start at 10 o'clock in the morning. We're going to try to go in catalog order. Jeremy, how can people sign up?
So you can either go to the Western Bloodstock website and go to our Facebook page, or call Phil or I. We can send you the jot form. You just sign up right there on that jot form, and it's very simple to do.
What's the deadline?
November 20th.
November 20th. Okay, so we need you guys to get your, get your sign-ups in ahead of time. That helps us not only get the right amount of cattle that we need and help keep this thing cost effective, but it also allows us to create a draw so that you'll be able to see which horses are actually going to be there previewing that day. And that's going to be an important part so that you don't get out there and realize, oh, this horse isn't going to be here today. It's going to highlight the horses that are coming out there. So you're going to know exactly what's going to be out there and what you're going to get a chance to look at.
We want to be prepared that morning so that everything runs smooth. Have it all there so they know exactly what's in between, so we know if we've got to roll somebody because these horses aren't here.
Yeah.
That way everything runs very smooth.
And there could be a conflict with somebody maybe helping somebody in Will Rogers, and we can move it around. We'll have enough time there where,
So we'll adjust to make it work for whatever we need to do to accommodate
we'll make it work.
Yeah. All right. Well, so go to westernbloodstock.com. Be sure to get that jock form filled out and be watching on social media. We're going to have more updates about this and more news about this as it happens. And we hope to see everybody out there. It's going to be a great preview.